Why I have taken a long? The reason behind that, they have given a long n. So the n is going to be a long number, right? And let's say what should we do? Should start from 1 till the end. Correct. So let's try it out that way. Right? So should we start from 1 or should we start from 2? Or maybe we can just include I. Let's forget about this. We can just sum up the I. That's easy. So what exactly I'm going to do over here is n modulo I is equals to 0. That means it's a perfect factor. Then only I'm going to go inside the sum loop, right? And increase the sum by ith values. Correct? So here the sum will get increased. Now what I need to check is if sum is equals to what it should be equals to n. What should I return? 1. In the else part, what should I return? 0. Will it work? Guys, do you guys see any errors so far? Okay, let's try to run it and see if we have any error. Okay, correct. We don't have any errors. So let's try the custom input as well. Guys, the purpose of this question is to explain you how you should debug your code, right? So let's say I have given you the 10, right? What should be my output? It should be 0, right? So here you will get the output. Correct. I'm getting 0. Okay. So will it work if I submit it? Or do we guys have any other approach? Let's try submit it out. For the given test case, it seems working. Correct. Now you got the time limit exceed. Okay. The reason why you got the time limit exceed, because the expected time complexity they have given was supposed to be the square root of n, right? But we are iterating a loop which is basically till the n, so that's not gonna work. Now you need to think of reducing the time complexity. Reducing time complexity, right? It shouldn't be n by 2. It's n by 2 and the okay. Which one is greater, n by 2 or square root of n? Which is greater? Correct. N by 2 is the greater one. So if n by 2 is the greater one, we don't want the n by 2, right? We want square root of n time complexity. It's perfectly mentioned over here that I need the time complexity supposed to be square root of n. How should we achieve this? Any ideas, guys? Correct. So let's move on to the next solution. Okay, run a loop from 1 to square root of n. Okay, what after this? Let me do that as well. I'm doing it along with you. So let's You tell me how exactly we should do it. Right? Okay, it's done. We are running a loop from the 1 to the square root of n. Then yes, please have a look at the syntax as well. Whatever we are using, that you guys need to remember. That is math.strt is basically will return you the square root of a particular number, right? We when we define this is a long, which is basically a return type, or maybe you can call it as a data type in terms of here, right? Because we do have an sum is equals to 0. Similar way we can define the long as well. Guys, what after this? If we have done this, anyone in the class? This is for sure that the solution what I have written previously not gonna work for the test cases what they have given. Now I need to find a better solution for it because the n ranges from 1 to the 10 to the power 12, which is a pretty huge number. Okay, so let me guide you over here. Let's say what I can tell you guys. Right? So let's say if I have the number as a 30, can anyone tell me what are the factors of 30 starting from 1? Correct. 1, 2, you missed out 2, right? 3, 1, 2, 3. These all numbers are the factors of 30, right? We shouldn't miss out any of the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Then we do have 10, right? Then we do have 15. Then we do have 30, right? Is there any number I missed out, guys? Or most of the numbers I have covered? Correct. So if I include 30 as well, these are the numbers I should have. Now, if you guys see it carefully, right? So what exactly I have? Let's say this is a capital N value, right? The 30 is a capital N value, right? So what the numbers I have? One. If I have the number one, right? If I'm using a loop which is iterating from 1 to the square root of n, right? So what would be the square root of n? It is basically iterating from 1 to somewhere around square root of n. It will be like 5, right? So I just need to iterate from 1 to 5 and get all the digits. How can I find it? So what I am going to do is, if I am dividing a number by the 30, right? So if 1 is a perfect number of it, then definitely 1 is a perfect divisor of 30, right? If so, let's say if 1 is a perfect divisor of 30, then definitely 30 by 1 will also going to be a perfect divisor of 30, right? Here I got one set. The second number, if I talk about, if the 2 is a perfect divisor of 30, then 30 by 2 will also going to be a perfect divisor of 30, right? If I have the number as a 3, if I have the number as a 3, if the 3 is a perfect divisor of 30, then 30 by 3 is also going to be the perfect divisor of 30, which is basically 10, right? If I have the number 4, which is not a divisor of this, then 30 by 4 will also not divide the 30, right? If I have the 5, that means 30 by 5 will also divide the 30. So if you calculate the values of these, right, this will give me 1, this will give me 30, corresponding number. This will give me 2, this will give me 15. This will give me 3, this will give me 10, right? So we have covered 3, 10. It's like in this order for 130, 215, then 3, 10, and 5 and 6. And we have covered all the numbers. Is it clear, guys, for everyone? Okay, if it is clear, can you guys suggest me the solution? What should I write further? Guys, these are the pretty important questions. Is the solution clear to you? I have explained you the pseudo code. Now you guys need to tell me how should I write in terms of a code so that I can get my expected outcome. Okay, sum is equals to sum plus I plus n by I. Okay, let's try it out. Are you guys okay with that if I do like this? How about others? Is it correct? Any other changes do I need to make? Will this code work or do I need to make any other changes? Think about it. Okay, so let me compile it and see if we are getting the correct output. That means we are correct, correct, good, correct. So we are not getting the correct output. Let's try to debug it, right? So how exactly we should debug it? I saw in the interview time, right? Most of the people are feel like they can't even debug their code, their own written code. They are not able to debug, right? So that shouldn't be the case. How should you debug it? Let's give a print statement over here, right? And see what exactly we are going to get some, right? Or maybe not right after here. I'm not getting the correct output that I know, but I want to know that what is the sum I'm getting, right? Correct. So I'm getting the sum as a 12, but ideally the sum for the 6 should be 6. Where am I doing wrong, right? I need to figure out that what is the thing I am doing wrong. So let's print out over here as well, right? With this, I will get the I values, right? I will get the n by I values as well, right? So each and every time, whenever I am dividing the number with an I will get my I values, I will get my n by I values. With that, I should able to find that, okay, this is the thing which I need to subtract so that I can get my sum from 12 to the 6 again. Correct. So if you see, maybe we can give one more space over here as well, just to give a clear picture, right? Okay, so the sums are 1 and 6 I am adding, right? The second number is going to be the 2, 1, 2, right? And 1 is with respect to the 6, then 2 with respect to the 3, and I am adding all these numbers, that's why the sum is getting 12, right? So I don't want this 6 to be added, right? How should I remove this 6? Where should I remove this 6 inside the code so that I will get my expected outcome? Okay, iterate from 2. Okay, let's try it out. If you iterate it from the 2, right? Let's see. Will you get the expected outcome? What do you guys say? Correct. And add 1 at last. Okay. Correct. We need to do that as well. Right? So there are the two ways to do it. The very first way I see it as, if we consider this from the 2, right? This alone is not going to help. Okay, let it be. If it is starting from the 2, right? So basically we won't be having 1 as an outcome. So we need to either add 1 to our sum explicitly. The second method we can do is, if we don't want to go for this approach, we can start from 1 and subtract n from here, right? So if we just submit it, let's see. Okay, we are printing these as well. Let's remove it. Okay, so for the 6, we are getting the correct output now 1. Correct, it got passed all the test cases as well. Right? Guys, any doubts in this question? So there were 2 ways, right? The second way, it could be like, if we start from this from the 2, right? So we won't be having that number as well. But we have to subtract, we have to add 1 over here. That's the extra case we need to take care of. That's why we are taking it from 1 to this. Any doubts, guys? Okay, can anyone tell me what is the time complexity of the code, what we have written as of now? Correct. It should be square root of n. I don't know why you guys are saying it's big of n. Guys, have a look at it over here, right? We are iterating from 1 to the square root of n. That's definitely going to be the square root of n. How it can be the big of n? There is no way it can be the big of n. And if you have a look over here, the expected time complexity is supposed to be the big of n. If you are big of square root of n, right? If you are exceeding this one, that you can never be able to what you call execute your test cases. Okay, so maybe I will paste this code inside the doc, whatever I'm going to share with you guys, right? So maybe you guys can also go through that once again if needed. No, it wasn't n, right? Any other doubt, guys? Guys, the sole purpose of doing such easy questions, I won't say it was an easy question. The very first way we did, it was an easy one, but this wasn't an easy one, right? So the sole purpose of doing it, actually, we want you guys to familiar that how you should debug your code. Okay, can you explain once again? Okay, so the logic over here is what exactly you didn't understand by n by I. Okay. Okay, by n by I. So have a look over here, right? I will give you a number. Let's say let's say 30. What are the factors of 30? Just tell me in terms of 1 into 30. Then what is the second factor you guys see? 2 into 15. What is the third factor you guys see? 3 into 10. What is the fourth factor you guys see? 5 into 6. What is the fifth factor you guys see? Right? That's again getting started from in the reverse direction. 6 into 5. What is the next factor you guys see? Right? 10 into 3. If you guys have a look, right? If you just keep on incrementing this, the very first term, the second term will keep on getting reversed, right? And definitely after this, the terms are getting repeated. If you have a look at it over here, till here, right? The numbers are itself getting repeated, but they are in the reverse order. Are you getting it? What exactly we want? We want all of these numbers. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, 30. Right? So rather than going in this direction 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, if I just write it completely, so for most of you guys it would be easy to understand, right? 15 into 2, and the last number is going to be the 30 into 1. Is that clear? Right? So if you have a look over here, right? So the first approach, if you see, what exactly we were doing is we were finding this one. We were checking whether it's divisible by 1. Then after that, we tried to find out with the 2 whether it is divisible by 2. Then we consider this. Then we consider this. Then we consider this, the 5, right? Then we consider the 6. Then we consider 10. Then we consider 15. Then we consider 30. Right? These all numbers we considered once, all of once, right? But in the second approach, what I know is that this number is the perfectly reverse of this number. So rather than going in the whole loop, right, what I will do is I will just consider these many numbers. And that's always be in between the square root of n. Right? So if I have the number 1, 2, 3, 5, and I need to include 6, so I can get the 6 from here. I need to get 10. So the 10 I can get it from here. The 15 I can get it from here. The 30 I can get it from here. Right? So the logic behind it, whatever the number you have, that's definitely going to be multiplied with the sum number to make it 30 or to make it a number, particular number. Right? So that's the reason we are appending I, we are adding I as well as n by I. Right? So n, if I talk about I, this is going to be this number. Right? If I talk about n by I, this is going to be this number. Is that clear, guys? Any doubts, guys, so far? Okay, why are we taking long in the for loop? Can anyone answer this? Why are we taking long in the for loop? Anyone in the class? Correct, but how exactly are we going to determine it? No, guys, there is a reason behind it. There are a couple of reasons, right? First of all, if you see the value of n, which is going to be the long, right? Correct. So if it is going to be the long, right? If it is going to be the long, I need a variable which should iterate in the long range. That's the reason we have taken it as the long, right? Because the n value can range in between 1 to the 10 to the power 12. So let's say my n value is 10 to the power 9, right? Can we take int? No, you cannot take int. The reason behind is, right? Let's say the n value is 10 to the power 11, right? Will the integer can contain the 10 to the power 11? Will my I will iterate till the 10 to the power 11? Of course not. Right? So I need a value which should iterate in this range. Right? Since n is a long variable, that's why I have taken a loop which basically iterates for all the long ranges. Is that clear? Any other doubt, guys? Okay, why we have taken sum minus n? Share the link over here, right? I'm not aware of what is a triplet program. Okay, so basically why we are doing the sum minus n. If you have a look over here, right, what exactly we did? We included all these numbers inside our sum 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, 13. But do we really want to include 30 in our sum? Right? If we include the 6 in our sum, that's definitely not going to be a perfect number. That's the reason we are excluding the 30, and that is the number n itself. Is that clear? Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, so there was a request from you guys. Maybe we can take a couple of 2D arrays question as well. Okay, let's see how many of you can crack it. Okay, guys, read out the question. Right? Once you are done, do let me know. I will explain it further if you guys have some trouble in understanding that. But give it a try first. Sorry guys, I was on mute. Okay. N into n minus 1. So will it work always? Think about the bigger test case. It might get failed. Okay, M into n minus 1. That I got, but think about the bigger test case. Try to do it for the 3 cross 4, maybe 3 cross 5, whether it, will you always get the same? or maybe you can try it out for the 3x2 as well. Okay, 3 into 2 is right. Okay. Uh, I cannot reach to the link, guys. Okay. How about other guys? Have you got the question, others? Okay. So let me explain the question first. Mhm. Okay. So what exactly the question says is, so let's say I have given an array. Assumingly, I will just open an example 2D array so that it's easy for you to understand. Assume this is an array we have, right? So what I need to find is what exactly the problem statement is. The problem statement says you need to reach from here to here, right? How many ways are there to reach from this point to this point, right? So if I just consider these two rows and these two columns, right? In how many ways I can reach from here to here? Can anyone tell me? Just consider very first two column and the very first row. So basically, wherever my cursor is moving, only I need to consider this matrix. Two, correct. So I have two ways. One way is I will go here, I will go here. The other way is I can go here, I can go here, right? Only I can move, the possible move I can make is the down and the right and the down, right? There are only two ways possible because either I can move in the right direction or I can move in the downward direction, right? Let's consider one more, right? So if I have column 1, column 2, column 3, right, and the row 1, row 2, so how many ways I can reach from here to here? Can anyone tell me? Okay, is it only 3 or there can be more? Correct. So it's 3, right? So the very first way is going here, coming down. The second is going here, coming down, then going here. The third is I'm already here, then going down and going straight to this column. This is the third I saw, right? So basically I have one this, two this, and three this, right? This is what I have. So how should we calculate it? Okay, answer is equal to the n minus 1 plus m minus 1 plus 2 into m into n, okay, minus m minus 1. Okay, while it's so complicated, and will it work for all the test cases? Okay. Okay. So let's try it out as well, right? Maybe we can have some bigger test case because we cannot iterate each and every test case, and this is what reason we have a code. So maybe we will write our code, and maybe you can verify that are you getting the same output for those as well, right? So there is an approach, right? Maybe we can discuss it quickly. So guys, here I'm writing a code from the scratch. The reason behind it, because most of you guys feels like we cannot write a code from the scratch. So I will explain you the line by line code, whatever I'm writing over here. Okay. So the import statement, the very first import statement says is java.io.start, right? This is basically to take the input and output. Then we need to import a scanner class. We need to have a util.scanner. You can make it util.scanner, but I would rather make it in the util.start so that I can include all the sub packages inside it, right? Okay, if I just remove this line, right, this is system.out.println is used just to print out the line. Scanner sc is equals to new scanner. Scanner sc is equals to new scanner system.in. Okay, maybe we can try it out in the GFG as well. There is no issues on that. Okay, int m is equals to the sc.nextInt. Okay, this is the first variable I am taking. This is the second variable I am taking. Right, I will show you on the GFG as well. Right, so maybe we can discuss on the same portal as well. Right, now what should we do? So I got the input. Now I have the value of an m, which is basically the row name, row number. Right, I have the n, which is basically the column numbers. Right. Yes, we can do that. Right, we will check out your code as well. Okay, so now what I am gonna do over here is I will create a matrix for it, right? So basically how that matrix works is maybe okay, so 1 1, let's say 1. Okay, maybe I can create a matrix and then show it to you guys. So what I am gonna do is I will iterate from 0 to the length n, or maybe till m I plus plus, right? For n j is equal to 0, j should be lesser than n plus plus j, right? Then after that, what I need to do is if I is equal to 0, or j is equal to 0, aij is equal to 1, else a of ij is equal to a minus 1, j minus 1 plus 1. System.out.println AIG. Shouldn't be AIG, it should be A minus 1 and minus 1. Any doubts guys you see, or any where something I have missed out? I'm not able to copy it from there, so maybe I can just print out this as well. Guys, please correct me if I'm somewhere I'm going wrong, right? This is the solution suggested by one of you guys. So I'm writing just to check whether are we getting the same answer for each and every input taken. Okay. Is it correct? Okay, so what exactly I'm gonna try over here is basically what I'm gonna do is I will create a matrix. The matrix should contain, if you have a look, the very first row and the very first column, I'm gonna fill it with a 1. The reason why I'm gonna fill it with a 1, so what I'm gonna do is I will create a new matrix which will contain the position, the number of ways I can reach till this point, right? So let's say I will iterate from here. So how many ways to reach till here, right? If I'm at here, how many ways to reach till here? Can anyone tell me? If I am at here, how many ways do I have to reach in this row, in this column at any position? 1. Do you all are agree, right? So I have only one ways to reach everywhere inside it, right? If I want to reach here, there is only one way. I directly need to move in the downward direction. There is no other way I can get it. Right? The second thing I see over here is how many ways I can reach in this row at any position. Right? It's 1, it's 1, it's 1. The reason behind that, I cannot move in the downward direction, so I need to go in the forward direction only. Right? So 1, 1, 1, 1, then 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I'm going to fill up all these rows and all these column by one. Right? Now let's have a look at it over here. Right? In how many ways can I reach over at this point? Right? So it's basically it's as simple as how many ways I can reach over here plus 1. Hello? Right? So how many number of ways I can reach over here? This is basically 2. The one is from here, the other one is from here. Right? Let's think about the code. I'm just opening in the GFG as well, so maybe you guys can also have a look. Guys, please mute yourselves. Just give me a minute. Guys, please mute yourself. Okay, let me share on the GFG as well. What I got the same question on the GFG as well. Yeah, I'm not sharing. Can you see it now? Okay, so great. So there was a question on the GFG as well, that we need to count the number of possible paths from the top to the bottom right. So if you have a look at we need to find the total number of possible paths. That's the same question, that exactly identical question. So maybe we can have a look at the submitted solution, which is absolutely a correct one. Let's have a look at it over here. So this is the same thing what we have done over here. Maybe we can write your formula as well over there, or maybe we can compile it over here. But let's have a look over here. So what exactly we are trying to build is, if it's the first row or the first column, we are just putting it one. If it's not the first row, we are just summing up the numbers. Okay. So how exactly we're gonna get here? If you have a look over here, right? So how exactly we're gonna get this? Here I have one, here I have one. How many number of ways I can reach over here is two. Now I have two over here. Each particular column and each particular row is going to represent. I'm creating a matrix in which each particular column and each particular row represents that how many number of ways I can reach till that point. Right? Okay. So if you have a look over here, right? This is basically 2, this is 1. So how many ways can I reach over here? That is sum of these two numbers. And this is what I need to perform of. Are you guys getting it, or do you want me to present in Excel? Maybe if I have. Okay, let's do it over here. So basically here I have 1. Just give me a minute. Okay. So if I have 1 over here, right? If I have 1 over here, if I have 1 over here, let's say I have this as a matrix, considering the 3 cross 3 matrix. So in how many ways I can reach over here? That's basically one from here, other one going in this direction. The total number of ways of reaching over here is 2, right? How should I get it? The sum of the above one and the sum of the right one, sorry, the left one, right? Can you tell me in how many ways can I reach over here? Just by intuition, that okay, one is a this way, other one is a this way, other one is a this way. Okay, if I have a look at the formula, right? So that is 2 plus 1, because there are definitely the 2 ways to reach over here. There are 1 way to reach over here. So it basically sum up these numbers and give me the total number that in these many ways I can reach over here. Can you tell me for this? 3. You can do it manually as well, and 6. Right? This is how my matrix should gonna look like, and this is what we have created. We have a look over here. The Aij is equals to 1 only if the I is 0 and the j 0. Let me try to run it. Let's see if if you are getting any error. Import dot period dot start. Okay, we haven't defined a variable, so let me define quickly. Hey, how should I define an array inside Java? Can anyone tell me? I have written this much. I need an array of a size which has a row which can contain a row m and a column n. Good, good. You just change the order of that, right? It should be m comma n because we want the first number to be there. Okay? Okay, so if I give 3 and 4, I'm getting the 10 and the 17. Is this a correct formula? Right? Maybe you are missing out something over here. Just try it out for the 3 and 4. Or maybe I have written it wrongly. I'm not sure. Right? But the answer should be 10 only. Let's run it for the 2 and 2. The answer is supposed to be 2 only, right? Because if I have just 2 rows and the 2 columns, right? If I have just this much of matrix, I have only 2 ways to reach over here. Right? If I just remove these details, right? So that is going to be the 2 cross 2 matrix, and whatever the last number is going to give me the exact result. Any doubts, guys, in this? Yeah. Okay. Great. So we'll wind up the session over here. Do let me know, guys. So one of you guys have posted one question, but I'm not able to click over the link. Whenever I click over the link, it's J404. Maybe you can post it again correctly. I see it's still giving the 404. Maybe the link is not correctly pasted over here. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you.